Following on from the previous episode where we saw the Serpent Horde capture several key locations from the forces of Rohan, these two enemies are once again destined for combat. Despite their overall victory, the death of the Golden King was an affront that the Serpent Horde cannot allow to go unanswered. We're back once again to see if the Serpent Horde can exact revenge for the terrible loss they suffered during that battle. The new Golden King quickly established dominance for himself in the merchant city of Abrakan, and whilst he would prefer to continue increasing his vast wealth in peace, he understands that all wars lead to profit for a man like him. Keen to see Theodred pay dearly, the Serpent Horde returned to the green and verdant plains of Rohan with murder and assassination on their minds. With news that Theodred is leading his party of Rohirrim across the Westfold, the Serpent Horde deploy a deadly Hasharim behind the quiet village, where he coats his daggers with lethal poison and waits. With the village forewarned of the pending battle and emptied of all livestock and civilians, this typically quiet and peaceful corner of Rohan will play host to what will surely be a savage battle, in which swords will be drawn in anger and shields shattered and splintered. With the Hasharan assassin waiting silently for his target, and both forces arrayed for battle amongst the hills and within the crops and fields around the village, all those gathered here wait to see who will make the first move. As Rohan prepares itself once again to repel the invaders, whatever happens, this will surely be a battle to the death. So I'm playing 500 points Rohan versus Serpent Horde. The Rohan's been led by Theodred, and he's got in his warband 5 riders with shield, sword and throwing spears. Then we've got Erkenbrand leading the second warband. He's got 3 riders with shield, swords and throwing spears. And Gamling is leading 5 warriors with shields, 1 warrior with a banner and shield, and 4 warriors with bows. And then we've got little Merry in there just to round it out. The Serpent Horde have been led by the Golden King. He's got 4 merchant guards and 2 raiders with war spears. The Haradrim chieftain is leading 6 warriors with bows and spears. He also has a warrior with a banner and 2 watchers of Karna with twin blades. The Hasharan has in his warband 2 merchant guards, 2 Haradrim raiders with war spears, and 4 watchers of Karna with twin blades. Both of these armies were painted as parts of 24-hour challenges that I did with my friend Edward. We did the Rohan first. He also did his Rohan over a 24-hour period. It was great fun. I really enjoyed it. They're not fantastic, but they look okay. The Serpent Horde were part of the second 24-hour challenge that we did, but that challenge we split into 2 12-hour blocks, and I've got to say I really would prefer to just do 24 hours straight. The 12-hour blocks was, way more difficult than 24 hours. Again, they're simple, but they look okay. So in this game, I'm playing the second scenario with these 2 forces to the death. This ended up being an amazing game. It was great fun to play. I think I can tweak my editing just a little bit more, and I need to replace that crappy microphone that I'm wearing. But I hope you enjoy the battle report. Let's jump into it. I don't think we'll worry about any heroic moves for the first turn, so let's jump straight into the movement. I've tried to speed things up a little bit here by just fast forwarding some of this movement, but essentially, in these first couple of turns, we're just moving everything forward. I do want to try and create a plug between the crop and the little village buildings there to stop Rohan being able to get in behind me. With that big hill and the village in sort of that top middle part of the table, there's only really a couple of ways to outflank me. And I figured if I could quickly just sort of get into that gap there, then I could stop Rohan coming around. The first turn movement, pretty straightforward. The only units that we've got to shoot with are the Rohan archers, so let's jump into turn 1 shooting. We've only left these 4 guys at the back here who can shoot. Everybody else on the board has moved more than half, and I must remember that the cavalry all have bows as well. 24-inch range on these guys. These 3 guys here will 1, 2, 3 have shots on the cavalry. This guy will be able to see, but he'll have an in the way for this rock here. So let's roll up these 3 guys here first. Pause. You get 2 hits. When you're on 5s. 1 wound. I forgot to roll the up and down. So do we hit the horse or do we hit the rider? We hit the rider. That's 1 guy dead. This guy at the back here who's going to have a shot at this last guy with the in the way. Does he hit? On a 4, he doesn't. That's the end of turn 2 shooting. No combat, so let's roll up priority for the second turn. Rohan on the red and Harad on the black. And Harad hold on to the priority. With Harad holding on to priority for the second turn, it's time to think about some heroic actions, some heroic moves or marches or whatever. I'm going to have a think about that and we'll come back. So having a quick look at the table and having thought about it for a little bit, there'll be no heroic actions during the move phase. My main goal here with Serpent Horde was to get that assassin into the village between those 2 buildings where he wouldn't be able to be outflanked and he could just spring out of there as Theodred rode past. And you know, it ended up kind of working out a little bit, but you know, I forget to move him at one stage during the game and you know, it causes a little bit of a delay. You know, Rohan really have a tough point in a tough time. I deployed completely wrong with Theodred's warband. You can see they're having to come down from where they originally started and gallop past the village. I really should have had them on their right flank, which is there at the bottom of the screen, so that they could come straight down rather than having to do this weird sort of dogleg turn to, you know, try and get between the village and the crop. I do try to charge some of them in there to at least tie up those Abrakan guard that are in there with the Hasharan. That's movement for the second turn. Let's have a little think about some heroic actions here. Could be important. Rohan obviously has the first call given that Harad has the priority. So let's check it out and we'll come back. So I think Rohan might declare a heroic combat here with Gamling. You know, they're mobbing this Serpent Raider here. And, you know, if we can push these guys a little bit further forward and then block up this gap here completely, then that'd be good. So I think we'll go with a heroic combat on Gamling. So Harad won't respond with any heroic combats. We'll let Gamling do it and see if he can push forward. Let's roll up some dice. So let's roll up this combat here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 warriors of Rohan with shields and Gamling in there as well. So let's pick our dice and get going. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 warriors of Rohans with shields and Gamling involved in this fight. So we'll roll up the warrior of the rider on black, the warriors on red, and Gamling on white. And who wins the duel? It's Gamling and a warrior of Rohan with the 6. So that Haradrim Raider is trapped and is going to get absolutely destroyed. Let's roll up Gamling's first set of strikes. Everything's doubled because that Haradrim Raider is trapped. So here's the first set, hitting on 4s. There's 1 wound. And the second set misses. That 1 wound will be enough to kill this Raider. Now everybody involved in this fight can push forward. And really block up this gap here. With those fairly predictable results out of the way, let's get back to Harad's priority. So looking at the board here for Harad's combat phase, or for the combat phase with Harad's priority, we've got this combat over here. I think we'll do this slot first, then we'll roll on down here. We've got some Rohan charging in here against some Abrakan guard, some merchant guard. All right, so let's start over here with this 2-on-1 here. So involved in this combat is this Haradrim Raider here, a rider of Rohan and Erkenbrand, and then 2 warriors of Rohan and a Haradrim Raider here. So I think we might do this simple one first, then we'll get Erkenbrand in. So let's roll this one up here. Got the Haradrim Raider on black and the 2 Riders of Rohan on red. And the Riders of Rohan win it. They push him back. Can they kill him? So they need 5s to kill him. Oh, and there's a big 6. And he's done. Munched. Let's come back now. Things looking off to a shaky start for Harad. Let's do Erkenbrand here, the warrior, the Rider of Rohan versus the Haradrim Raider. So we'll roll up the black dice for Harad, red for the Rider, and the white dice for Erkenbrand. Oh, 6-6. It's a draw, but Erkenbrand's got a much higher fight than that Haradrim Raider, and so wins the fight and pushes this guy back. Do they kill him? So again, Erkenbrand on the white dice and the Rider of Rohan on the red. And that 5 will do it. It takes this guy out. Don't really have a great shot of the action that's happening here in the middle of the table here in the village. But we've got one Rider of Rohan who's charged 2 Abrakan Guard and another Rider of Rohan who's charged in and only managed just to touch the 1. So we'll do this 2-on-1 here first. So we've got 2 Abrakan Guard in the village with 1 attack each. They'll be on black. And the charging Rider of Rohan on the red. He's got 1 attack plus his 1 for charging. Oh, look at this. And the Rider has 1, pushes both those guys back. Then we'll put the first strike on the guy on his left. And he kills the first guy. This is grim so far for Harad. And the second guy, again needing 5s, can't do it. And then we've got this last combat in here with the 1-on-1, the charging warrior Rider of Rohan and the Abrakan Guard. The Abrakan Guard sitting on the 6 and he wins it and pushes him back. So we're looking for a 5, but the Abrakan Guard has the 2-handed weapon, so he's getting +1 to his dice roll. No, 3 is not going to be enough. And once again, I've forgotten about the shooting phase. I was going to have these guys here shooting up into this combat. You know, there was that big mob here, and I just want to pepper that, but, you know, totally forgot about that. I guess we'll just have to be more diligent as we move forward in the turns. Turn 3 priority, let's see who it goes to. So Rohan on red and Serpent Horde on black. Will the Serpent Horde really need this? Oh my goodness! So there we go. Rohan take priority in the 3rd turn. I really think there's going to have to be some heroic actions going on in this turn. The Serpent Horde really needed the priority in this to maintain or, you know, to take back the initiative. They've suffered horrendous casualties so far. Lost a single warrior. Let's have a think about those heroics. I think the heroic king is definitely going to have to call a heroic move. You know, that gets everybody, including the Hasharan, who's just out here on the other side of the building. You'll hear the Golden King yelling out, and obviously everybody involved here in the middle of the table will get to move. And I don't think Theodred's going to let that happen. So let's roll it up. 1, 2, 3, it's even. 5, 6, it's good. So with Theodred also declaring a heroic move to counter the Golden King's heroic move, here's the roll-off. It's evil! Oh boy, you know, Harad really needed that. Golden King, you know, needs to get his people moving and engage as much of that cavalry as he can before they receive that charge. Alright, it's pretty close in here, so I think we'll go slow for this one. We want to get this Hasharan up in here and engage this chap in here. We want to get this Abrakan Guard into both of these guys. This guy near the tree is going to push through and around. You know, he's going to come up through this gap here and engage this guy at the back. This Abrakan guard is going to go past and engage this guy here. I think the Golden King's going to have to pivot a little bit and come and engage Theodred. And we'll get this Abrakan guard to come up and engage the guy at the back here in the back. I think we're going to get our chieftain here onto this chap here. This Watcher of Kana into here. We need to push our banner out into this fight over here to help with those dual rolls that are going to be happening all within there. And I think this Watcher of Kana, can he wrap around to here? That's going to be 4 to there, easy, and he'll wrap around and engage this guy. So that's blocking up this whole area here. Actually, I might just move him around here. That way, you know, they can't get anybody through here. And I think that will do it for the heroic move, you know, called by the Golden King. Engages a whole bunch of that cavalry in there, blocks up that little bottleneck and creates that choke point. So let's get on with Rohan's priority. So Gambling will charge into that gap against the chieftain. There's not a great deal anybody else can do in here. There's, you know, I have been playing it that these whole bases here are difficult movement. So I guess, you know, if we tried to move this guy in, we'd get, you know, 1-2 inches to here, 3-4. Oh yeah, he'd be able to get around there. 1-2 to here, 3-4, 5-6. I think we'll back around and engage this guy. So all we're left here that's doing nothing is Merry and a warrior. He doesn't have a spear, unfortunately, so he can't really do too much. Might just move him in the back, just up here, and move Merry up. I really think that's all. Oh, our banner. Don't forget to move the banner forward 6 inches up to here. And then I think we'll go over to that left flank and have a look at Erkenbrand out there. So this situation here is not looking pretty for these Watchers of Kana. Not much they can do about this, but we'll get this guy into here. Is he going to get both of them? He can't. He can only get one of them. We'll get this guy into here. He can get 2 of them. Erkenbrand, not going to be able to get around. That's going to be 8 inches to there. Nine inches around. It's going to be just out, but we'll get him into here. And then this guy in here. So we've engaged everybody except one guy, which we just can't quite get in there. Well, that's Rohan's movement for turn 3. Pretty much full contact across the board. Let's have a look how Harad responds with, I think their only movement is that one Watcher who's sitting there out there on that flank with Erkenbrand's group. So this guy will charge in around here. And whilst we're here, we'll just split out these combats. He'll pull off Erkenbrand. This guy will pull off this guy here. And then we've got a nice even 1-on-1, 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 and 1-on-1 happening over here. And over here on the left flank, everything already moved before from that heroic move that the Golden King called. And I think the only thing that we've got left is shooting at these guys up here on the hill. Now they're shooting over the top of these guys. Whoops. Shooting up over these guys at the guys up there on the hill. So I'm not sure how that's going to be affected, but otherwise that's it. No more movement. Before I forget, the next phase is shooting, Viv. Not combat. Movement, shooting, combat. So let's have a look at shooting, starting with Rohan. So the only shooting that looks to be possible from Rohan are these archers down here into the archers at the back. Like I was just saying, you know, these guys will shoot back at these guys. These guys want to have shots at those, but at first I need to determine what happens within the way and shooting down from elevations and whatnot. Talking about shooting, I've totally forgot about throwing spears on the Rohan charges. Remember that for next time. So I've had a quick look in the rules and I can't see anything in there about shooting at models on a higher elevation or shooting down at models on a lower elevation. Obviously there's rules in there about models being in the way and, you know, scenery in the way rolls and all that sort of business. So, you know, I'm going to make a dice roll just to determine whether you can shoot up without things being in the way or shoot down without things being in the way, and then post that question on the Facebook group. On a 1, 2, 3, you can't. On a 4, 5, 6, you can. On a 4, 5, 6, you can. So that means now in the shooting phase, Rohan has priority. These archers at the back up here will be able to shoot over this combat into this group of archers at the back there. So I've got 4 archers up there shooting on 4s, hitting on 4s. And we get 1 hit. Does it hit the fence on the way in? On a 1, 2, 3, it hits the fence. On a 4+, it gets past. 1, 2, 3, it hits the fence. So we get 1 lonely shot from these bowmen straight over the top of this combat and bang into the point of the fence here. That's it for Rohan turn 3 shooting. Let's have a look what Harad can do with those warriors with bows sitting in that little crop. So Harad have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowmen back here, and they're going to shoot back into those bowmen up there on the hill. They're also hitting on 4s. Let's see what they can do. So they get 2 hits. They're shooting straight over the top of their friends here, as we determined earlier, and there's nothing in the way, so we're killing on 5s. And we get 1 of them. Pew! First casualty. That's the first casualty in the game so far that the Serpent Horde have caused. Let's have a look at the combat phase. Rohan has the priority. Are there any heroics? He only has 2 points of might left, so he's going to spend 1 on this heroic combat here, hoping that he can kill that chieftain with the aid of his warrior of Rohan here, and then bust through and give Theodred some help to attack the Golden King. So I had thought about declaring a heroic combat with Gamling here. He's still got 2 points of might left, but you know, he needs to be able to kill that chieftain to be able to move in and help Theodred here attack the Golden King. But, you know, the chieftain is full stat line, hasn't lost any wounds, and I think that it'd be unlikely that he'd kill him in one go. So no heroic actions from either side in combat phase. So let's just get on with Rohan, you know, straight off the bat. I think we'll start the combat with Erkenbrand out here on Rohan's left flank, you know, far away from the rest of the battle. And it's been split up nice and evenly into one-on-ones, and Erkenbrand on this guy here. Now all this cavalry charged in, so they're going to get +1 attack. So let's start off with the guy closest to the rock, this guy here. Watcher of Kana on the black dice, he's got 2 attacks, and the Rider of Rohan on the charges on the red. Who wins the fight? Rohan win it. Look at that, snake eyes for the Serpent Horde. You know, they're not faring too well. He pushes this guy back and knocks him down. We get 4 strikes back against him. So those Watchers of Kana aren't terribly strong in defense, so we're hitting on 4, wounding on 4s. And that 1 wound will be enough. And they take out this first guy. Let's go the second one here. Equal fight, so it'll come down to a dice roll. 1, 2, 3, it's evil. 4, 5, 6, it's good. 4, 5, 6, it's good. He pushes this guy back, and we're killing on 4s. We got 4 strikes because he's prone. And knocked down, here's the first one. And that 5 will do it. And he kills him. This has been brutal so far for Harad. Let's worry about Erkenbrand towards the end. We'll do this last remaining combat here. Again, Rohan on red and the Watcher of Kana on black. Rohan has cleaned up again. And killed him on that big 6. So things faring reasonably well for Rohan so far. I've got to say that Rohan doesn't really care that the Serpent Horde have returned looking for revenge for the Golden King that was killed in the previous engagement between these two forces. They're just absolutely cleaning things up. Right, let's do Erkenbrand on the charge versus this last remaining Watcher. So Erkenbrand on the 3 red and that Watcher on the 2 black. Who wins the fight? Oh, we've missed the dice tray with one of the red dice. The Watcher is currently sitting on the big 6. Oh, and the Watcher wins it and pushes Erkenbrand back. Let's roll up some strikes against him. So we're looking for 6s. Oh, it's so close, but it's not enough. So the Rohan cavalry charge down here on Harad's right flank, Rohan's left flank, absolutely cleaning up. Let's move over into this middle melee right here. Okay, so Rohan has the priority, and I think, you know, we're gonna have to start. We're gonna have to start with this one cavalry over here who charged. Obviously, the Serpent Horde had the heroic move and engaged everything except for this one cavalry who managed to charge around into the back of this guy here. So we've got one cavalry on the charge, one who's not, and the Abrachan guard. So we've got 3 red dice for the Rohan, 2 for the rider on the charge, 1 for the other guy, and 1 for the Abrachan guard. Ooh, the Abrachan guard wins it with a high fight. He pushes these 2 guys back, pushes this guy back, and now I think we'll have strikes, maybe against, does it really matter what's looking like what? I think we'll have strikes against this guy at the back here. Killing me on a 5, but he gets +1 to his dice roll, so all he needs is a 4. Oh, it's not enough. And I think then we'll come into this one-on-one here with that merchant guard on the black, the Rohan on the red as always. And it's a tied fight, but the Abrachan guard has the higher fight. So he wins it. He's killing that rider on a 4. And he's done it. Another desperately needed kill for the forces of Harad. Righto, I think we might move into the village in here. It's a little bit difficult to see, but what have we got here? So we've got 2 merchant guards engaging this rider here, and a Hasharan engaging this guy here. This merchant guard is engaging these 2. So I think we just might pull it off like this. So we've got these 2 merchant guard versus this rider, and the Hasharan versus this rider in here. Let's roll up this 2-on-1 first. So we've got the 2 merchant guards on black and the 1 red for the rider of Rohan who got charged by those merchant guard. And the merchant guard have won the fight. Do they kill him? They're looking for 4s. They do. And they clean this guy up in here. And then tucked away in here in the middle of the village is the Hasharan and this poor rider here. So let's roll that one up. 1 red dice for the rider of Rohan, 3 for the Hasharan. Let's see who wins the fight. And the Hasharan with his chunky fight of 5 will beat him. Let's see if he can kill him to kill this rider. And that 5 and 6 will do it. And the forces of Harad clear the village of this last remaining rider of Rohan, giving way now to the final combat over here with the 2 leaders, Theodred and the Golden King, Gamling and the Chieftain, and a bunch of little rabbleness over here. I think we'll leave our leader combat here for the moment. Let's do this 2-on-1 here, these 2 warriors of Rohan versus the Watcher of Kana. So the Watcher of Kana on the black dice, the warriors on the red. Who wins the combat? The Watchers win it. 2 strikes. We'll put 1 strike on this guy on the inside first. And we kill him. And the second one on the other guy on the other side. That's not going to be enough, so we push this guy back, but kill the other one. Let's move on to this other combat here, this Watcher versus this Warrior of Rohan. So the Warrior of Rohan on the 1 red, the Watcher of Kana on the 2 black. He has the higher fight and wins that, pushing this guy back and killing him on 5s. And there's the big 6. That big 6. Oh, this combat is making a difference here. Casualties all round for Rohan right now. They've just been eating it the whole game, but now that's time for them to finally dish it out. So here into the middle where we were thinking about declaring that heroic combat with Gamling, we've got Gamling, the Chieftain, and a Warrior of Rohan here. So 3 red dice for Rohan, the 2 black for the Chieftain. Oh, it's big 6s all around. On 1, 2, 3, it's evil. 4, 5, 6, it's good. And good wins it. And they push this Chieftain back. So the Warrior of Rohan will be on the red, Gamling on the blue, looking for 5s. And nothing. Let's do our final combat in here. Our 2 leaders, Theodred being charged by the Golden King. So the Golden King on the 4 black dice, Theodred on 3 red. Let's see who wins the fight. Poor Theodred wins it with the higher fight. Even though there's 2 black 6s there, Theodred wins it and pushes the Golden King back and lets strikes on him. Strength 4 versus defense 5 on the Golden King. We need 5s. And he gets nothing. There we go. You know, super interesting round of combat there at the end of turn 3 for the Serpent Horde. Really, you know, coming on strong there on Rohan, who up until now had just been, you know, clearing the battlefield left, right, and center. But, you know, things might be turning here. Let's get on with priority for turn 4. Who's going to have it? Rohan on red, Harad on the black. And Rohan keeps it. So Rohan win the priority in the 4th turn. Are there going to be any heroics? I think, again, you know, that Golden King might need to think. I think he's got 1 point of fate left, 1 point of might left. You know, we'll have a look. All right, having a look here on the table, I think that the Golden King is going to have to declare another heroic move. He can get everybody in his bubble here except for the Hasharan. Even this guy on the outside here is in range. This guy out here. So the Golden King's going to have to declare a heroic move. And I think that's going to be countered by a heroic move by Theodred. So let's roll it up. Rohan have the priority on a 1, 2, 3. It's evil. 4, 5, 6. It's good. It's evil again. You know, the momentum of this game is certainly swinging. You know, the Serpent Horde had the heroic action, the heroic move at the beginning of turn 3. They've got it again at the beginning of here of turn 4, really negating a whole bunch of that cavalry bonuses that Theodred and all that cavalry around there really need to, you know, bring those big impact hits to bear. Well, not impact hits, but, you know, double hits, double attacks against, you know, all those merchant guards in there. All right, so the Golden King's heroic move is getting everybody except for the Hasharan back here and right in the middle of the village. So I think we'll pop this guy up against this guy here. This guy's got to come out here and engage this guy. Just for the lols, this guy. Let's think about this a little bit carefully. I was just going to charge him out here to engage this banner, but then he's just going to get mobbed by everybody else here. Let's think about things a little bit. Let's get the Golden King back into Theodred. This Watcher of Kana up into this warrior. Chieftain into this guy. This Warrior of Kana into this guy here. Now we can get this Abrakan Guard all the way around the back into Merry. Let's get this Abrakan Guard up into here. We have another one who was in range, who's tucked behind this building. We'll get him up into this rider here. All right, so let's just get this banner then up into here. So there's another really big blocking move by Serpent Horde, tying up everything, well, mostly everything except one warrior of Rohan right there in the middle of the village. But Erkenbrand is sitting out there on the left flank. He's only got one watch to worry about. They'll clean him up and then come thundering around through the back. And do they make it in time? Let's find out. So sitting out here on the left flank is Erkenbrand and this cavalry here. I've got a feeling this is what we're going to do. We are going to charge this guy into this guy here. And then we're going to just move all these guys straight down. We're going to leave that one cavalry guy and that Watcher of Kana just fighting there, while the rest of these guys come hoofing it down the back. 4 to here, and then 6 up. Let's move over to the right-hand side over here. There's not a great deal that they can do over here. Most of this was all tied up with Harad on the charge. We've got this one banner here. We've got this one guy out here who'll charge around into the back of the chieftain, give a little bit of support to Gambling. Then we've got a banner here. And I think the banner might charge into the back of this Abrakan guard and give Mary a little bit of support. And that's all our movement for turn 4. Things are just bogging down there in the middle of the village. Let's go have a look. Hand shooting, turn 4. Don't forget about the shooting phase, Viv. Let's see what happens. There's really only one thing that they can do, and that's again fire the archers here into the mob at the back. So let's do that. We've got 3 red dice hitting on 4s. 2 hits. Do we get past the fences? We clear the fences on a 4, 5, or 6. One of them clears the fences. That roll just then was our roll to hit. I'm getting slightly confused about how, in the way rolls work. It's different in a couple of different games. And I think I'm getting confused with the rules. So that 6 hit. Now I roll my in the way. Does it hit the fence or does it go through and hit its target? And it goes through and hits the target and kills one of them. It's not much more shooting for Rohan. I did forget about this cavalry charge over here and the throwing spear once again. But, too late. Got to remember those. So we've got these 5 warriors of Harad firing back, and they're shooting at the warriors of Rohan up there on the hill. You got 5 shots incoming, hitting on 4s. There's 3 hits. Wounding on 5s. Oh, we killed 2 of them. Oh, not a bad round of shooting there from the Serpent Horde. Haradrim warriors with the bows, doing an okay job. 2 out of 3, it's pretty good. Let's have a look at combat round 4. All right, no heroic combats. Let's just get on with things. We'll start out here on the left flank. So we've got this one rider on the charge against the Watcher of Kana. So 2 red dice for the warrior on the charge and the 2 black ones for the warrior of Kana. The Watcher of Kana. Oh, and the Watcher wins it with the higher fight. Pushes that guy back, and does he kill him on 5s? He does with the big 6. And that was unexpected. Now these guys have an angry Watcher of Kana in their back. They're going to have to think about that now. Right, let's move away from that left flank back here into the middle of the table. Okay, let's these combats here first. With that stupid Hasharan sitting in the middle of the village. Oh man, I really wanted him into the back then of Theodred. He's been sitting there for the whole... Anyway, let's get these guys done. 2 guard versus the rider. As always, rider on the red, merchant guard on the black. Ooh, merchant guard win it with the high fight. So they push that guy back. Do they kill him? Looking for 4s. There's the 5 and the 4, and they mince him. Okay, let's move on to the next one here. We'll do this one here again. 2 Abrakan merchant guard. Khan and a warrior with a banner. So we've got the 3 black dice and the 1 red for the rider. Who wins the fight? Oh, we're missing a black one. Can it be a 6? No. Oh, look here. This makes a difference, Viv, because we've got different fight characteristics here. This is another one of those scenarios where I should have rolled different colored dice. I was going to, but then I didn't think it made a difference. But those Merchant Guard have a higher fight than the regular warrior does. So who does it belong to? 1, 2, 3, it's the warrior. 4, 5, 6, it's the Merchant Guard. So 4, 5, 6, it's the Merchant Guard, and then that tied dual roll will be won by fight. So 4, 5, or 6. Oh, it belongs to the warrior. All right, tied fight. We go down to a roll off. 1, 2, 3, it's evil. 4, 5, 6, it's good. 1, 2, 3, it's evil. So after all that messing around, they push this guy back. Do they kill him? The Merchant Guards looking for 5s. Let's 4s. Let's roll them up first. There we go. A 5 and the 4 will be enough. So things not looking great for Rohan here in the middle of the table. Things have definitely turned. So let's have a look. Let's do this Watcher out here. This Watcher versus the Warrior of Rohan here. 2 black, 1 red. Who wins the fight? All the Warrior of Rohan does. It says no. Please get back, you know. I like how he's saying please. Does he kill him? That needs to go in the dice tray. No, he doesn't. We'll say this Merchant Guard here versus Merry. So Merry on the red and the Merchant Guard on the black. And it's a tie, but the Merchant Guard has the higher fight. Can Merry get out of there? He's got to move at least an inch. He can move to there. Can the Merchant Guard put a wound on him? No, he can't. That one's going to do nothing. So we've got our 2 characters here. Gambling, Theodred. Theodred versus the Golden King. Gambling versus the Chieftain with a warrior back there. Warrior of Rohan. Let's do this Warrior of Rohan and the Merchant Guard in the middle here. The Watcher of Kana wins that on the tie with a higher fight value. And can he kill him? Looking for 5s. There's that 5 and takes him out. Let's move on to Gambling, the Chieftain and the Warrior of Rohan back here. So the Chieftain on the 2 black, the Rohan on the Rohan Warrior on the red, Gambling on the white. Oh, and the Chieftain on that big black 6 is enough to push those guys back. I think we'll put 1 strike against this warrior because he's getting annoying sitting around out there in the back. So let's put 1 on him, needing 5s to kill him. No, second 1 on him. There's the 6. And we clean up that Warrior of Rohan back there. And all we're left with now is Theodred and the Golden King. And then we're on to priority for turn 5. Theodred on the 3 red, the Golden King on the 5 black. It's 5 high for the Golden King. And they push Theodred back. Alright, so we're looking for 6s here to put wounds on Theodred's massive defense of 7. And we don't get any. There we go, that's the end of turn 4. Let's roll up priority for turn 5. So let's roll up priority. Oh dear. So Rohan keep it. Now, Rohan is currently broken. We need to kill 11. They've taken 13 casualties so far, so that's courage tests for anyone who tries to move who's not engaged. Let's have a look. All right, so let's start off with Erkenbrand Standfast over here. Erkenbrand has a courage of 4, so he needs a 6. And he's passed that easily with double 5s. I don't think we're going to worry too much about that Merchant Guard hanging out the back there. We can just leave him behind. So we're going to move up here. These guys will automatically pass. And we'll get these guys up in here. In my usual fashion, totally forgot about heroic moves. So having a quick look at the board, the Haradrim Chieftain really needs to declare a heroic move. So he's going to try and have a shot here, and that's going to be countered by Theodred. They really want to get this charge off this time. So let's make up our dice roll. So the Chieftain, using his first point of Might to declare the heroic move. It's been countered by a heroic move by Theodred. 1, 2, 3, it's evil. 4, 5, 6, it's good. Oh, it still goes to evil. My goodness me. So the Serpent Horde here really do have the momentum. This is crazy. Third turn in a row, they've got that heroic move off. It doesn't really affect this, so let's trap him in there. We want to get this Hasharan out of here and into the back of Theodred. Bring this Watcher around and engage him from the back and trap him. We'll bring this guy around here and engage this guy in here. He's in range, we'll bring him in. Charge Merry with this guy in the middle. Chieftain back into gambling again with the Watcher of Kana. This Watcher will go into this guy here. I think we'll get the banner support up around the back here. And this guy also into the back of Theodred. That's about it, really. You know, we're lucky at this point that the Serpent Horde's not broken. We need to kill 13 of them. You know, we haven't, Rohan hasn't gotten there at this stage. You know, none of that forgetting of heroic moves affected this move from Erkenbrand, so he still would have done that. And, you know, that's where we are. Let's run this guy down 6 inches to here, chase after that cavalry, and that's it. Let's get on with shooting. I think just before we do that, Rohan does have this one useless archer down here. He's going to try and make a courage test to move down and engage this guy at the back there. It's courage 3, he needs a 7 or more. Oh, he's feeling strong. He's feeling excited. Let's get him into the back there. So Rohan have no shooting, so we've got our Haradrim warriors down here with bows. And we might need to move a few of these guys to make shots. That guy can shoot, that guy can shoot, that guy can shoot. But these guys at the back here are going to have trouble. So we might just do a half move on this guy to the fence here. And a half move on this guy. Just out a little bit. Make sure he can move 3 inches. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And then they'll all have shots on this guy. I do like how I'm just ad-libbing who can move and who can shoot whenever they want. But that movement would have happened during the movement phase. Let's get the shots done. It's towards the end of the game. Again, it's getting very late. Let's roll some dice. So we've got 5 Haradrim warriors with bows there. And 2 of them have moved. So they can roll up on the blue dice. So the black dice are hitting on 4s. The blue dice are hitting on 5s. And we've only got 1 hit, needing 6s to wound. We're going to roll for this guy at the front. No, we can't do anything. So shooting not being massively successful. Again, you know, not a huge amount of shots. But, you know, now combat. Let's have a look at those heroic moves and see what comes. You know, I'm feeling fairly confident as a Serpent Horde player here that, you know, this game is in the bag. All right, there are no heroic moves. So let's just split off some combats here and we'll do this one here first. A warrior of Rohan into the back of the Haradrim warrior with the banner. The Haradrim warrior wins the fight. It's killing on a 5, sorry. Nope, and he just pushes this guy back. All right, let's do the banner in the middle here. No, we'll come back to the banner in a minute. Actually, I should have rolled up the banner for that just then. Let's split Merry here and this Abrakan guard, this merchant guard here, and we'll do this combat here. Merry on the red, merchant guard on the black. Banner reroll for Merry. Nope, and the merchant guard wins it on the 5. No, and we need 5s for causing wounds on Merry. He's got a defense of 5. And so we just push him back. Let's do this here. The Watcher of Kana and the Warrior of Rohan on red. 2 black dice for the Watcher. Oh, look at that cocked 1. All right. Let's roll up that black again. Can we beat a 2? We've drawn. Watcher of Kana wins it on fight value. Looking for 5s. Nothing. Jesus. We just push this guy back. Whoops, wrong guy. Watcher of Kana pushes this guy back. Let's do gambling versus the Chieftain and the Watcher of Kana. Watcher of Kana on black, Chieftain on blue, and gambling on red. So we're missing a couple of dice from there. A black one and a red one. All right, black wins it on the big 6. That's the Watcher of Kana. He can't really go anywhere. He's trapped. One of these guys can push back and make way. But where can he go? I guess this guy can push back over here, so he's not touching. And this guy can push back into here. Ooh, wish I had a photograph of that. It's going to be difficult to see on camera. Okay, so let's make up some strikes against him. Watcher of Kana on black, looking for 5s. No, and let's roll up the Chieftain. Again, looking for 5s. He gets one. Gambling will use his point of fate. And he doesn't, so he takes a wound. I think we'll leave the banner till last. All right, Merchant Guard. Here we go. 2 Merchant Guard, the Hasharan, and the Golden King. All right, let's just roll it up and see what we get. 2 black dice for the Merchant Guard. 3 red dice for Theodred. 4 blue dice for the Merchant King. And 3 for the white dice for the Hasharan. We've got 6 high for Theodred. I think the Hasharan in here, who's rolled that 5 on the white dice, is going to have to spend his only point of might to boost that to a 6. And then we go to a roll-off. So let's do that. So Rohan have the priority. Let's roll it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 1, 2, 3. It's evil. 4, 5, 6. It's good. It's good. They really needed that. And push these guys back. And push this guy back. Now Theodred strikes. We've got 3 of them. I think we really want to put them against... Well, the Hasharan's used his point of might. And he doesn't have a massive... Well, he's got fight 5. All right, let's put him against the Hasharan here. We'll put 2 against the Hasharan to start with. So we need 4s to put wounds on the Hasharan. Oh, there's 2 wounds. The Hasharan has 3 points of fate, which I always forget about. So let's roll those up. Oh, he takes 1 wound. But Theodred's got 1 more. We'll throw it against the Hasharan as well. And we hit him. Can he save? He can. So there we go. You know, that would have been the great moment to bring down Theodred, but the Hasharan there, you know, using all of his fate and taking 1 wound. So he's sitting back on 1 wound. That's the end of turn 5. Let's roll up priority for turn 6. Who's going to take priority? To draw, so it passes over to evil. That's our movement for Serpent Horde. I had some amazing rolling there, getting those guys over the fences just to block off that corridor from that cavalry, to stop them coming, charging around through the back. 3 sixes. Unbelievable climb over that fence. Let's have a look if Erkenbrand can pass his courage test and get this cavalry moving. So we need a 6 on these 2 dice for Erkenbrand to pass his courage test. Oh, we don't. You know, that's bad news. Erkenbrand is afraid and he runs away. That was disastrous. Erkenbrand, I'll have to double check the rules, but Erkenbrand just fled on 3 might, 1 will and 1 fate. Full stat line, hadn't spent anything and he's gone. Let's roll up for his 2 colleagues. We'll start off with this guy at the back here first. That one's not looking good. He's gone. On the snake eyes. Let's see if his friend follows him and flees off the board. He does. The 5 is not enough and this guy flees as well. That was crazy. That was, you know, disastrous. Erkenbrand fled and his 2 friends were like, nah, fuck this. I'm out too. So we need 1 more kill on Rohan to quarter them and finish the game. It's going to happen now. So evil have the priority. Let's start off at the back here. With a banner, the Watcher of Kana, the Merchant Guard on the white, banner on the black, Rohan Warrior on the red. And the Abrakan Guard on the black comes through. So Abrakan Guard killing on a 4. No, and the Warrior, Haradrim Warrior on a 5. No. Let's do the banner here. Let's get rid of this banner. So the 2 Abrakan Guard and the banner. Banner on the red. Oh, the banner wins it. Pushes these. Actually, banner reroll for the Golden King. Needing to beat a 4, which we don't. So he pushes those guys back. Does he kill one of them? He doesn't. Pushing these guys back. Let's do Mary and this Abrakan Guard here. And the Abrakan Guard wins it. Can he put a wound on Mary? Wounding on a 4. He does. Mary has 2 points of fate, so we'll try and save this. He can't, and he goes down. That's the Rohan forces broken, and the game will end at the end of this turn. Right, let's have a look here. I think we're going to come back to this one in just a minute. The banner wins. Okay, so we'll do this one over here. The Watcher versus the Warrior. Watcher on black. Warrior on red. Missing 1 black dice from there. Can we get more than a 3? We can't. We can match it, but they wins it on fight value. Can he kill him? The 5 will do it. Clean this guy up in here. Rightio. Now we'll come down now to gambling in this chieftain who've just been throwing punches back and forward. So the 2 black dice will be the Watcher of Kana. The 2 blue dice will be the chieftain. And the 2 red dice will be gambling. Missing a blue dice. And the Watcher on the blue dice. The chieftain on the blue dice has won that fight. We push gambling back. And then let's make some strikes up against him. We'll start off with the Watcher of Kana on the black dice. Wounding on 5. Snake Eyes is going to do nothing. Let's do the chieftain. No, it's not enough. This is the reason we are here, folks. This is to the death. We are trying to kill the leaders. It is the end of the 6th turn, and our leaders are clashing against each other. And the Hasharan there, poking Theodred in the ass. Let's see if they can kill him outright. So here we go. We've got Theodred versus a Merchant Guard, the Hasharan, and the Golden King. We'll do the Golden King on the black dice. Actually, we'll do the Merchant Guard on the black dice. The Merchant King on the blue dice. The Hasharan on the white dice. And Theodred on the red. Well, there we go. The Merchant King wins that fight with a big 5. Theodred looking fairly weak with a 1, 2, 3. Theodred can get out of here, so he's not trapped, unfortunately. But let's put some strikes against him. We'll start off with the Abrakan Guard. So he's needing a 6. Can't do anything. Let's roll up the Hasharan. Alright, so we need 6s from the Hasharan. Got nothing. And the Golden King. Alright. Let's see. We need 6s here too. We get 1. Theodred needs to use his only point of fate. And, he's currently unwounded. He's got no might. Can he save this to deny the victory points? Needing a 4 or more. Let's get it in the dice tray. He can't. He takes a wound. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of the game at turn 6. Let's tally up some victory points and see where the game finished. So let's have a look through the objectives. That was a great game. So much fun. All right, let's have a look. You score 1 victory point for causing 1 or more wounds on the enemy leader. Check 1 for Harad. If you kill the enemy leader, you instead score 3 victory points. Well, neither of the leaders died. The Abrakan Guard, the Golden King is still on. He didn't take a single wound. Theodred took 1 in the last dice roll of the game. So check 1 for Serpent Horde. 3 victory points if the enemy force is broken at the end of the game. The enemy force is broken and your force is unbroken. You instead score 5 victory points. Well, Rohan was certainly broken, so check 3 more for the force of Harad. I'm pretty sure that they are unbroken. Let me quickly check. Serpent Horde are not broken, so check 5. So we're 5 and plus 1 is 6 so far. If you score 1 victory point if you have at least 1 banner remaining at the end of the game. They have 1 banner remaining at the end of the game. Check. If you have at least 1 banner remaining and your opponent has none remaining, then you instead score 2 victory points. So Rohan do have a banner, so check 1 for Rohan and check 1 also for Serpent Horde. So what are we up to at the moment? 5, 6, 7 for Serpent Horde, 1 for Rohan. You score 2 victory points if the enemy force is reduced to 25% of its starting models at the end of the game. Check 2 more for the Serpent. There we go. If my math is correct, it's 9 victory points to 1. And if my math isn't correct, the numbers on the screen here will be correct. But a crushing and resounding victory for the forces of the Serpent Horde. Massive resounding victory for the Serpent Horde. 9 victory points to 1. This was a cracking game. I really wasn't sure how it was going to go with Serpent Horde at the beginning. They were just taking casualties, something fierce. But, they bounced back, the initiative swung, and, it was a great game. It was a great game to play. I really enjoyed the editing process. It was a little bit easier based on the previous episode. But I think I can make it even better. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Bye.